สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับคุณตั้มครับ
ครับสวัสดีครับ
ครับสวัสดีครับ well, good evening, everyone in Asia. Once again, well, thank you for joining us today for the high school fair for soccer scholarship. So with my co-host today, it's Kuntam. How are you doing, Kuntam? Good evening.
Yeah สวัสดีครับand say hello everybody too this now is
Okay, so yeah, please go ahead.
yeah ครับผม
Okay, so this session is we just want to welcome everyone to join us for the first day. So we are in the first day of a 3-day long high school soccer fair. So you will learn a lot about all our guests that will be coming on starting from today. Every institutional will have a 30-minute session. They will talk about the program. They will talk about the advantage. They talk about their pathway, how they can get your kids to college scholarship or even professional. And well, I just want to introduce myself. My name is George. I'm a CEO and the founder of the agency College Recruits. And my partner and co-host today is Kuntam. He can certainly introduce himself a little bit because he's got a long background. Please go ahead, Kuntam.
Yeah okay I will introduce in myself too my name is Sarawut Khainok they say Kotam yeah I responsibility for the football program in Thailand and then I national Thai team before and then I is a professional before too I hopefully for everyone come to join us in program and you're welcome for everybody in today too.
Thank you. You are in for the treat for today. We have 6 institutional that you will want to hear if you are in soccer and you want your kids to pursue this route. They are top ranked and very high soccer program and also academic. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow we have another 6 institutions. And on Saturday, we have another 4 institutions, and they all from all over the countries. Okay, so let's start a little bit. Just want to get everything going for today, so you know what you have. And once again, this is us, the agency College Recruits. We have been in operation for 8 years now. We currently #1 the sport college agency recruit in Asia. We're operating in 15 different countries and 7 different sports. So for the past 8 years, there's more than 300 now clients, students that we place in US, both in college and also in high school level. But our goal, really, we want to find the right fit for each of our clients because each one of them have their own need, have their own criteria, have their own pathway that they created. So all our objective is all about the right fit for them. Yes, this is US. We place our client in many college, as I mentioned. 8 years is about 300 student now. We are separating our service or unit into their career cycle. The agency high school recruit, which is we talking about now, about how to get your kid get ready in high school here in US or in Canada or in France or in UK or in particular Asia countries. Then once they get ready, we are specialized in placing kids into the right fit to the agency college recruit. So they stay there for 4 years, or they maybe stay there 1 year, 2 years, whenever, just when they're ready to turn pro or have that opportunity. We have the agency pro recruit to help them placing in to professional team as well. As Kun Tam is mentioned, he played in the national team in Thailand, and he is currently full-time soccer sport agent in Asia. So he's on our team and be ready to help you throughout the whole career. Today it's a high school soccer scholarship fair. You will learn from 15 different institutional about their process, about their program. And then in Bangkok, Kun Tam can talk about this a little bit more. We also have a tryout in Bangkok, which is going to happen on November 21st and 22nd. And also, I just heard the good news from him about another one, eastern part of Bangkok, which is going to be a week after. Kun Tam, could you talk about this a little bit? What's happening in the tryout?
Yeah, in this month, right? For our program in November, right? It's coming in Bangkok for we try out for the student and for the player who want to go to USA for the scholarship. Have we will make a program on 21 and 22 of November. You can follow the news and follow everything in my in our webpage and website, Instagram for register for and then get information from us.
Yes. So we not always meet you virtually, like right today. We also organize now. Thailand's COVID situation very fortunate. They hardly have any cases, so to do a group activities. So on November 21st and 2nd will be a tryout. We welcome all the boys and girls between age of 12 to 18. Please come. And Kun Tam and his team will help you qualify and be able to tell you if you're ready to come to a high school here or you're ready to be a D1, D2, or NAA player here in the US. So let's talk about a little bit about today. As I mentioned, we have 15 different institutions that highly top ranked in academic and also the soccer program. We have TKA from Tennessee, Mount Word from Orlando, HooSac from Utah, Paris Saint-Germain is the only academy professional residence program for Paris Saint-Germain is in Miami. Baylor School in Tennessee, Layton Clifton in Utah, FC Pula from Indonesia, Brook House College from UK, Blanche College is in Canada, Toronto, and then International Football Center in France, Trail International in Thailand, Darlington School in Atlanta, and we also have Academy from Laos and also Academy from Thailand that will be joining us on Saturday as well. So starting today, we're gonna run through around 10 more minutes, and then right on spot at 8 p.m., which is Thailand time, we will have a special guest from Paris Saint-Germain Academy from Florida, which is centrally located in Miami. They will be on and presented to you as our start. And then half an hour later, we will have International Center of European Football from France to talk about their program. They have more than 1,000 football players in their program, and you can talk about the current pathway between high school, college, and also professional there in European soccer. 9:30 p.m. will be HooSac International from New York. 10:15 Baylor School from Tennessee. And then we close today 11 p.m. With the Darlington School. So the head coach, Chad, that was there for a long time, 15 years, and he's been building a wonderful program there, will be joining us today. So that's a lineup for today. I hope everybody join us, and please, stay on or join us again, and we will start exactly at 8 o'clock. So Kuntam, could you please speak it in Thai a little bit for
Yep.
our guests who are in Thailand, and they can certainly learn more information today about the high school opportunities. Go ahead, please.
โอเคครับก็ยินดีต้อนรับนะครับท่านผู้ปกครองแล้วก็น้องๆนะครับทางผมนะครับโค้ชตั้มนะครับผู้ดูแลโครงการฟุตบอลนะครับของ DNT College Recruit นะครับก็เป็นโครงการที่ปรึกษานะครับกีฬาให้น้องๆนะครับได้รับทุนไปเรียนต่อที่ประเทศสหรัฐอเมริกาด้วยทุนกีฬานะครับวันนี้ก็ทางโครงการของเรานะครับก็ได้จัดให้น้องๆและผู้ที่สนใจเนี่ยได้เข้ามาร่วมรับฟังนะครับข้อมูลของในแต่ละมหาวิทยาลัยที่เข้าร่วมโครงการของเราไม่ว่าจะเป็น Paris Saint-Germain Baylor School Darlington School นะครับก็คือเราจะมีพาร์ทเนอร์นะครับทั้งทั่วอเมริกาแล้วก็ไม่ว่าจะเป็นในยุโรปเราก็มีนะครับสเปนนะครับแล้วก็มีทั้งลาวมีทั้งในของในทั่วยุโรปอย่างที่เราบอกนะครับน้องๆนะครับที่สนใจนะครับก็ยังสามารถที่จะรับฟังข้อมูลนะครับผ่านทางเว็บไซต์ของเราแล้วก็ยังสามารถที่จะรีจิสเตอร์เข้ามาฟังนะครับในวันนี้นะครับเราจะมีโปรแกรมกันจนถึงนะครับตั้งแต่2 ทุ่มนะครับจนถึง5 ทุ่มนะครับก็โรงเรียนที่เข้าร่วมในวันนี้นะครับก็มีตั้ง5 พาร์ทเลยนะครับก็จะเป็นของ Paris Saint-Germain นะครับแล้วก็จะเป็นของ The International Center of Europe Football นะครับของประเทศฝรั่งเศส HooSac School นะครับของรัฐนิวยอร์กที่แล้วก็ Baylor School นะครับแล้วก็ Darlington School นะครับวันนี้มีถึง5 โรงเรียนแล้วก็5 Academy ด้วยกันนะครับก็เรียนเชิญนะครับผู้ปกครองนะครับที่สนใจนะครับที่จะรับฟังข้อมูลรีบลงทะเบียนแล้วก็สามารถที่จะรับฟังตามวันเวลาที่ปรากฏในเพจได้เลยนะครับก็เรียนเชิญนะครับ
ครับก็ขอบคุณมากครับคุณตั้มครับแล้วก็เรียนเชิญคุณพ่อคุณแม่น้องๆเข้ามาฟังกันนะครับก็โอกาสดีมากๆอย่างเราคุยกันเสมอว่าเมื่อ30 ปีที่แล้วหรือ20 ปีที่แล้วเนี่ยน่าจะมีคนทำอย่างนี้ให้เราได้ทราบบ้างเราก็จะได้มีโอกาสได้เรียนรู้อะไรของอย่างนี้ก่อนนะครับ so for today the housekeeping rule is that we have our guests many guests and also client or prospect that coming in joining this session by Zoom. So if you are in Zoom, please stay mute throughout the whole presentation. But if you have any questions, please go ahead and type your question at the bottom. If you see at the bottom of your screen, you will see a message. You can send us a message, your question, and then we'll certainly pass along to our guests presenter for them to answer your question after the presentation. But please stay mute the whole time so that way our guests can speak clearly. And anyone who join us on the Facebook Live, we actually live our session to 35 our Facebook, 35 Facebook. That's more than 200,000 people follower on our Facebook. We live on there too. So if you listen to us via Facebook, please go ahead and type your question as well. We will get them answered. But thanks again, everybody who joining us, and we will be back exactly at 8 p.m. Thailand time. But you can stay in this room. We will leave this room open throughout 5 hours of our presentation today. Please stay on this room, or you can go out and log back in again or listen to us on the Facebook. Please feel free. But get ready. We all about opportunity today for your kids coming here for high school soccer. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ
สวัสดีครับ
join the Paris Saint-Germain Academy Pro Residency program.
Join us in the USA.
Hello, everybody in Asia. Once again, and we get ready to start our first day of high school fair for soccer player. Our first guest today is Paris Saint-Germain Professional Academy resident. So it's only one in the world, and it's right here in centrally located Miami, Florida. So let me introduce our special guest. It's coming as a whole team for you this evening. The first one is Amanda, Lena, Isabel, Rahul, and Felipe. And thank you for everyone who joining us today, and you are in for the treat. Once again, my name is George Duomani. I'm a CEO and the founder of the agency College Recruits. We are here for you, but I just want to I just don't want to take any more time out away from you. We got only 30 minutes, but please, everyone, if you're in a Zoom, please stay mute. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and type in your question and a message under the chat, and we will certainly answer all your questions. Welcome for the program, Amanda, Lena, Isabel, Rahul, and Felipe. Amanda, please, thanks again, and look very nice in your background there, sunshine in Miami.
Thank you so much, George. And welcome, everyone, and thank you all so much for being with us today. My name is Amanda Hequin, like George said. I am the admissions manager, and I will be presenting to you today the PSG Academy USA Pro Residency so that you can continue your development in football and continue studying to prepare for your future ahead. Today, we also have with us Isabel Roux. She is our Vice President of Development. Isa, would you like to say hi?
Good morning. Sorry for my name tag. There's a little problem, but welcome everybody. We're very happy to have you today.
Thank you, Isa. And we also have with us today Raul Escoin. He is our Technical Director of the PSG Academy USA. Raul?
Hello everyone, and welcome to this presentation.
Thank you, Raul. So Raul is our PSG Academy USA Technical Director. He holds the highest European coaching license, the UEFA Pro license, and has had various years of experience both in Europe and the US. He has 20 years of experience in Europe with Barcelona and Villarreal, and he is now in the US, where he has been for 5+ years and is now with PSG Academy Pro Residency. We also have with us today Lena Gill. She is in charge of coordinating with US College Showcase Asia in case one of you requires more information after today's presentation. And before we start, just letting you know that at the end of the presentation, we will be answering all of your questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat while I speak at any time, and we will respond in the order that they arrive. I know it's a lot of information to take in, but if anyone wants to make an appointment to talk to us privately, feel free to contact US College Showcase Asia, and we will be able to organize it for you at your best convenience. So as PSG Academy USA Pro, we are part of Strive Football Group, a leader in football education that originated in 2014 and brings together boarding schools, football academies, and also football clubs, leagues, and sports institutions throughout the world. We are building a global network for youth international players through youth development boarding school programs, and we have career options for these players to rise to the professional ranks all around the world. Today, we will focus on our boarding school in the United States, PSG Academy Pro Residency. All of our Strive players, regardless of whether he or she participates in one program or the other, they benefit from our powerful network and the opportunities and support from our international group throughout the world in order to access the professional world in football. So let's review the highlights of our program. This is the first and only program that is supervised by Paris Saint-Germain from Paris around the world. And the program is designed for both boys and girls from 6th grade to 12th grade, players born between 2003 and 2009 for August of 2021. And this is for players, international players coming from all over the world. These are based on US middle and high school accredited programs, the 6th and 7th grade, all the way to 12th grade. It's a full year boarding school from mid-August to early June. And it's also good to note that this program will begin in August of next year, in August of 2021 for the full year boarding school. But we also have summer camps available in the summer of 2021, and we will be releasing those dates very soon. Now let's take a quick look at what makes us unique. For all of those who are wondering why or if the PSG Academy USA Pro is different from the sports academies that you know already in the US, here are your answers. Number one, we have 100% football development. Football is our expertise. Others may be specialized in tennis, in golf, or basketball. We just do football. We do it at the professional level and have done so for decades. Number two, we have unparalleled academic programs. We've partnered with one of the best private high schools, not only in the United States, but also in the state of Florida, called North Broward Prep. It is one of the best college prep institutions in Florida and in the US. So it's the perfect opportunity for our students who want to go from high school to prepare to be selected to a college team. Number three, we follow a unique concept of football academies in Europe. I'll be giving you more information later, and Raul will as well. But basically, we replicate the same conditions as any professional academy, football academy in Europe, just like the professional PSG Academy in Paris. Number four, our technical staff is PSG and UEFA certified. In order to develop our players in a professional environment, we only have coaches with the highest UEFA licenses, and most of them are actually even coming from Europe. They have an extensive background in youth football development in Europe. Number five, our professional competition program. We have designed a competition plan with regional, national, and international games chosen specifically by our technical director. Number six, our exposure and professional opportunities. This is probably actually the most important point, as we belong to a powerful network that provides a lot of career and college opportunities, not only in the United States where we're located, but throughout all parts of the world where professional football is developing. Number seven, and finally, the exceptional boarding life and cultural experiences. We are located in Miami, which is already an international area itself. It's the Sunshine State with many activities and a very diverse campus. And now, if you had to remember one thing about the PSG Academy Pro, it's that our student athletes never have to make a compromise between their passion for football and their academic education. They get the best of football along with the best education and even an incredible boarding life to pair with that. So this is an all-inclusive program that combines the best of all worlds and is unmatched with any offering of similar programs around the world. So now we're going to go more into detail about each of the points that I mentioned, and I'll give you all the information that you need to know about the PSG Academy USA Pro. So this is our beautiful campus. It's located in South Florida next to Miami, where players can train year-round given our beautiful and sunny weather. Our training center, which you can see on the screen, serves as an environment for development on and off the field. We have a stadium with 4 more adjacent fields, video analysis rooms, locker rooms, gym and fitness center, and VIP areas with aerial views of the field. And even more, apart from this beautiful stadium, you'll be an amazing campus at North Broward Prep, where you will be boarding and living and excelling in your studies. And I'll show you a virtual tour of our campus later. So for those familiar with, for those who are actually unfamiliar with the concept of a football academy like us or a European training center, I'm going to explain. In Europe, in order to be professional, you have to go through a professional football academy where football becomes your life 24/7. The problem is that in these training centers in Europe, they're almost unattainable for international players. like those coming from Thailand, Malaysia, or Vietnam. In addition, there are so many talents already in Europe for spaces that are so limited each season, so the chances of being selected in the programs becomes almost zero. So here now we have the world's first PSG Academy Pro residency in the United States, replicating the concept of the PSG Training Center from Paris. And to become a professional player, like I said, you need to have 24/7 dedication in a professional environment, which you will definitely find in all training centers in Europe, but you'll also find it at the PSG Academy USA Pro Residency. We have the same player development model as the professional training centers in Europe. So now I'm going to invite Raul to join me to speak. Raul, you may go ahead.
Thank you, Amanda. At PSG Academy Pro Residency, our goal is to create intelligent players. So training sessions are designed to mimic the same situations that players will find in a real game. Football is a sport with a highly variable environment, and the best way to train and prepare our players will be by providing uncertainty and variability to train. All games and training sessions integrate the 5 performance structures into football. These are mental, cognitive, technical, understanding of the game, and physical aspects. All training situations are designed to be very similar to competitive reality, where the player will be able to interpret and find the best solution in each game situation. In each session, we involve the players to participate actively, answering numerous questions and understanding the basic concept of the game. Again, our goal is to create smart players who can understand the game and make the best decisions during the game. All Paris Saint-Germain Academy Pro coaches have the UEFA coaching license, which is the highest possible football coach license in Europe. We also have years of experience in professional football in Europe, so academy players can maximize their learning from the knowledge and experience of the coaches. Our technical staff is made up of experts and professionals in all areas of football training and performance who provide all-inclusive training with over 25 hours of football per week. Our coaching staff has the same qualifications as the Champions League team's coaches, like Guardiola, Mourinho, or Zidane. With the UEFA Pro license, we are prepared to develop players at the highest level of competitions through the world. We prepare players to master all football performance factors: physical, technical, tactical, and mental. It's also very important to note that the technical director of Paris Saint-Germain headquarters in Paris regularly visit the training center to supervise and coordinate the program with our coaches. Our players receive the same program and training points as players who are part of the professional PSG Academy in Paris. We are talking about players who in 2-3 years can play in the first team. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. So, as I said, our methodology is based on training sessions, but we also know that competition is very important for players to evolve and improve. We say that the game is the best practice. We have chosen the best competitions for the development of players and those that will give more opportunities to be exposed to scouts and coaches from college and professional teams. We are fully immersed in the path to pro competitive landscape in the United States through regional, national, and international leagues and tournaments. We also offer players the opportunity to have a unique experience in Europe through the Paris Saint-Germain Academy Pro Paris Immersive Experience, a trip that every year players will have the opportunity to go for 1 week to Paris for training and competition. On this trip, players can be exposed to the highest level of youth football competitions with top European clubs. They will train and compete against the PSG Academy teams in Paris. They can train and be part of clinics led by the staff of Paris Saint-Germain in Paris, and they are able to measure their development and compare with European youth teams.
Thank you so much, Raul. That was a special treat to have our technical director give insight into our football program. So now we're going to move on to the academic part of the program. Like I said, we've partnered with North Broward Prep, which is just located just 20 to 25 minutes from the PSG campus that you saw earlier. And it offers a college-style environment, campus, and lifestyle. North Broward Prep is part of North Anglia Education's network and is a leader in education in the United States. And we're very proud to give our student athletes the great opportunity to receive this academic experience and preparation. So now I'm going to go ahead and visit the virtual tour that we have to give you a glimpse as to what the campus looks like. And I'll take you to some of the common areas, the boarding area, and so on. So as you enter the campus, you can see the beautiful open areas. Our students go from classroom to classroom and building to building, just as they would in a typical college setting. So now we're going to enter the Learning Commons, or typically called the library. This is a great place to get your studies done, meet with groups, get some tutoring, study with friends. This is what it looks like. So our student athletes have access to all of the library resources, all the books, in order to complete their projects and school materials. So now let's visit Lakeside Hall. This is another common area where our students can enjoy some time together. As you can see, it's a very nice campus, very college-style campus. So our students are able to enjoy all of this. I'm going to take you to some classrooms just so you get an idea of what the classrooms look like. This is our performing arts classroom, one of them. Another classroom over here. Kind of getting an idea of the technology that's implemented every day at school. Sorry about that. Okay, now entering the dormitory area. This is the International Village where our students will be living. This is the entrance, the lobby. We have supervisors on site 24/7 that you can see here. And on the weekends, you'll see many students going in and out, enjoying many activities that we have to offer as part of our boarding program. So this is our lobby. And as you enter over here, this is where the rooms are. This is what a typical room looks like. It's a shared double room. So it will be you and another student. And then once you walk outside, it's a suite style. So there's 3 to 4 to 5 rooms in a suite. So student athletes are able to live together, but also have their own private area. So you see you'll have a safe, a nightstand. It's fully furnished, a bed, a desk, and your closet. And students are encouraged to decorate in the way that they believe will make it feel like they're home away from home. I'm going to shift a little bit just so you get a better idea of what the rooms look like. Okay, so now moving on to the common areas in the dorms. There are many areas for students to build relationships with other students, enjoy their time together, play ping pong, play games. As you can see, they're all enjoying their time. And now moving on to the college advising office. This is very important to our students as their main goal is to get into their top colleges of choice. All of our students are given careful attention to make sure that they're prepared for the next level in their careers and to get into their top college of choice. So this is our college advising office. Moving on to the dining hall. This is where our students eat. All food is healthy, balanced. It's prepared by chefs on site and checked out by nutritionists also on site. So I think that's a good view, a good glimpse of what the campus looks like, just to give you a better idea and put you maybe in there while you're a little far away. So coming back to the academics, our student athletes have many course options available to them, and North Broward Prep also has several course levels to accommodate each type of student. They have courses in English as a second language, the EFL courses. They have college prep courses, which are their regular courses, honors, AP, and IB. And it's important to note that getting admitted to North Broward is not easy, as it's a school with high academic standards, but our students do receive special consideration by coming from the PSG Pro program. And all of our student athletes will be interviewed by the North Broward admissions manager, Mike Rogers, via Skype to determine if they are good students and people in general, and to get an idea of their level of English. And in addition, they also will take into account the GPAs and their grades, as well as letters of recommendation from our student athletes who are applying. And if you come from the Cambridge system, they will give you guidance as you move on to the US high school system. North Broward is extensively experienced with students coming from Asia already in the boarding program, and they will be able to answer all of your questions with regards to your academic programs. In the PowerPoint, you can see the logos of Juilliard and MIT because North Broward has partnered with these two institutions to take their art performance department and science department to the next level, offering courses and workshops that go far beyond what you would normally find in a regular classroom at a high school. So moving on to the accommodation that I showed you a bit earlier in the tour. As you saw in the campus tour, our international students can be part of a typical American college style experience at North Broward. This campus is just like in the movies from the US and reaches all the expectations and above to prepare for a US college campus lifestyle. You can see the bedrooms. I think they're actually newly built, only 2 to 3 years old, which is great. International students who live on campus, like I said, they will be able to enjoy many weekend activities, and they'll have several amenities in the building, like you also saw, such as laundry, a medical clinic, game rooms, study rooms, and much more. So as you have seen, you'll understand we're preparing the players in all aspects to be successful. After PSG Academy Pro, our student athletes are ready to play and study anywhere in the world because of the methodology they have received on the field and the excellent education they have received in the classroom. So speaking first about the university level, we create the profiles that college coaches are looking for, and of course, also the professional coaches, what they're looking for as well. With our football coaches and advisors, as well as college advisors, our players are guided every step of the way and are ready for the next step in their football careers. And now talking about exposure with PSG, players are exposed several times throughout the season to PSG. For example, they are trained by PSG certified coaches. The technical directors, like Raul mentioned, from the PSG Academy in Paris, visit the academy several times a year to measure the progression of our players and to provide assessments. And also our players go to Paris every year to train, compete, and measure their development at the PSG headquarters. So talk about exposure with PSG, for sure we have it. And our strong network also allows us to have exchanges, tryouts, and a clear path to the professional leagues all around the world. These are our program options. We have first the full residency program that includes football, academics, boarding, everything we just spoke about, that's included. The second one is football and school without boarding. These are for players who have family living in Florida and would like to live with a family and take part in the academics and the football part. And we have a final option that's just the football, mostly for Floridian student athletes. So now hopefully you know everything you need to know about the PSG Pro residency, so we can jump into our Q&A session.
Well, thank you, Amanda. You know, it's wonderful, and then I can certainly endorse it when I visit you. It's like before COVID, and thankful Lena to took me around to see the school and also the facility. I mean, look at this. It's within 6 months, everything's perfect. You know, we were there at the ground level. Well, congratulations. And well, I see one question from the Facebook and say, you know, what's the next step? All right. If you mentioned about you have to have an interview with the school, and also he need to submit the video to you, or how to get accepted to a wonderful program.
Isabel, would you like to answer?
Alors, you will have to register online, And then once you register online, we're going to have some tryout on site, but it's going to be a little complicated for, I believe, for you to travel. So the way we will be doing is that you will have to register online. Once you register online, you will be sent an application that every student athlete will have to fill up. Once the application is done, it will be sent to Raul for analyzing. Raul will then, you will have to set up an interview with Raul on a one-to-one. Once Raul has done his process, he will ask you some questions, request some videos. Once he analyzes the videos, an acceptation will be decided or not. At that point, I will be in charge with the student athlete to do a FaceTime on a one-to-one and ask him some more questions to see and analyze the state of the way he is, if he's ready to go, if he's mature enough, he's willing to go. And then it will be sent, the application will be sent to Mike, the head of admission and Northborough Prep, that will start the admission part on his site. And once the soccer has been approved, the football has been approved, and school has been approved, you will be sent an acceptation or denial answers.
Okay, good. And opportunity for both boy and okay. So an opportunity for both boy and girls. What age group?
Yes, it's for both programs.
6th grade to 12th grade American. And for August of 2021, it's players born between 2003 and 2009.
Okay, so you actually start a residency program at 6th grade.
Correct.
Yes, we do.
Wow. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Well, thanks again for your time for today. Is there anything else that you like to have our people, our client online that'd like to hear from you? Any last minute word?
Oh, no, thank you for listening to us, and we are looking forward to start working and welcoming some residents at our PSG Pro residential programs.
Great. Well, thanks again, everyone, and thanks for your time, and looking forward to work with you. And so I'll see you again sometime soon after the safe travel again. We got to have you in Asia one of these days.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you so much,
Thank
George.
you.
You were born with talent, raised with passion, and trained to strengthen football skills. You're at ICEF because you have a dream. We provide you the drive to push your limits, the discipline to train like a pro, the vision to play smarter, the key to become a champion, and the spark you need to become unstoppable. Talented today, unstoppable tomorrow.
Hello, good evening. I don't know what happened there, but the internet, network is not going well. But I'd like to ask Amanda and everyone as our guest to unmute their own phones or microphone so you can speak. But welcome everyone to second session for today, high school fair for soccer players. And today, we have a privilege to have more than 6 institutional. You get both passion intact for parents, both education and also soccer. Well, once again, my name is George, and I'm a CEO and the founder of the agency College Recruit and U.S. College Sport Camp. And we are here in U.S. and also we have an office in Thailand to cover and answer any question that you may have in Asia. To not take any more time from our guests this evening, may I introduce you to Rahul, Felipe, Lena, and then Isabel, and also Amanda to present regarding to International Central European Football. Thanks again and for your time today, Amanda and everyone. Please, we are here very eager to very excited and learn about your situation with COVID. Your program is going on, compared to anybody outside of Europe that they have to stop their program. Please go ahead. Thank you and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, George. And thank you all so much for all of you for joining us today. My name is Amanda Hequin, like George said. I am the admissions manager, and I will be presenting to you today the International Center of European Football, or ICEF for short, so that you can continue your development in football and continue studying to prepare for your future abroad. Today, we also have with us Isabel Rue, the Vice President of Development. Isa, would you like to say hi?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our International Center of European Football.
Thank you, Isa. And we also have with us Raul Escoin. He is our recruitment team technical director at ICEF. Raul?
Yeah, hello everybody and welcome to this presentation.
Thank you. So Raul is our recruitment team technical director. He holds the highest European coaching license, the UEFA Pro license, and he has had various years of experience both in Europe and the United States. He has 20 years of experience in Europe with Barcelona and Villarreal, and he is now with us with ICEF. We also have with us Lena today. She is in charge of coordinating with US College Showcase Asia in case any one of you requires more information after today's presentation. And before we start, just letting you know that at the end of the presentation, we will answer all of your questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat while I speak at any time. And we will respond in the order that they arrive. And I know that it's a lot of information to take in, but if anyone wants to make an appointment to talk to us privately later on, feel free to contact US College Showcase Asia, and we will be happy to organize it for you at your best convenience. So let's start off. As ICEF, we are part of Strive Football Group, a leader in football education that originated in 2014 and brings together football boarding schools, football academies, and also football clubs, leagues, and sports institutions throughout the world. We are building a global network for youth international players through youth development boarding school programs. And we have career options for these players to rise to the professional ranks around the world. And today we will focus on our boarding school in France, in Europe. All of our Strive players, regardless of whether he or she participates in one program or another, benefits from our powerful network, the opportunities and the support from our international group throughout the world in order to access the professional rank in football. So now let's review the highlights of the ICEF program. This program is for boys only, from middle school through high school to undergraduate and graduate degrees. And this is for student athletes coming from all over the world and of course from Asia. These international student athletes can join us for a full academic year of 10 months, but we also have options to offer shorter custom length programs, such as for 3 months, 6 months, and also camps during the summer. And for the annual program, the center selects only 48 of the best applicants in the world to be part of the program, so we recruit only the most motivated players to play at the professional level. So now, what makes ICEF special, and how is it different from the other sports academies that you know? Number one, we are 100% for international players. We welcome players from all over the world, and we recruit internationally. Number two, we have a professional club attached to the academy with 5 decades of experience in the development of players. We own and operate Tonon Evian Grand Genève FC, where our players can play in official competitions in Europe and can train with their teams throughout the season for more advanced training. Number three, we have a UEFA and FFF technical staff of the highest rank, the highest that you can find in the world. Number four, our student athletes compete in official competition in Europe. Through Tonon Evian Grand Genève FC, as I said before, our players can compete in official competitions in Europe, but also through all the professional European clubs with which we work, such as Italy, Switzerland, France, Spain, and much more. Number five, our main objective is to offer our international players professional contracts. Through our network and our competition program, our players receive the necessary exposure to play professionally in the future and launch their professional careers. Number six, our individualized academic programs in English. We have options from middle and high school to college and university programs, with many academic program options available to meet the individual needs of our student athletes at accredited institutions. And it's important to note that you do not need to speak English or French to come to the center, and you don't need to master any of the 2 languages. We have students who have started intensive English courses at the beginning of the school year in order to then start the academic programs in English. And finally, this is an exceptional boarding and cultural experience. Our players not only achieve excellence on the field, but also experience immersion in football culture and French and European culture. So now, speaking of the methodology, our technical team is made up of a group of experts with qualifications from the UEFA and FFF, the French Football Federation, who help our players reach a higher level in their football skills and levels. Raul here with us today has the same qualifications as Champions League teams coaches and is prepared to develop players at the highest level of competition throughout the world. And our UEFA and FFF methodologies, they focus on teaching players to understand the game. We develop our players' intelligence so they can make the best decisions in all game situations. And this excellence of European football methods has been demonstrated for decades with the highest ranking technical staff, the highest level of competition in the world, and decades of outstanding results. And for those of you who don't know, the French team is the current World Cup champion. So that proves our decades of outstanding results. And now, talking about the professional football development, we have developed a fully professional and comprehensive football program in which players have more than 25 hours per week of football-related activities. Our football programs include all factors and areas of development. First, the individual focus. We evaluate each player individually and prepare individual plans for each player based on their qualities and needs in each area of the game. Second is the tactical configuration and position-specific training. We prepare players so that they can master all performance factors in football. We want them to be able to play in their position, understand the collective game, and make the best decisions in every situation of the game as well. Thirdly, our custom competition program. We choose the most suitable competitions for the development of our players and those who will have the most opportunities to be exposed to scouts and professional coaches. Fourth is our technical skills exercises. We plan the best sessions for player development and at the technical and tactical level. And finally, our video analysis. We record sessions and matches to have theoretical sessions with players to analyze their performance. We also analyze the professional team play model and tactical systems with our players. So it's a pretty comprehensive professional football development program. And moving on to the competition, our players participate in 20 or more competitive matches against teams like Monaco, Lyon, and more. They also compete in at least 3 highly competitive tournaments per season. And the most advanced players actually have the opportunity to integrate the teams of our club, which I mentioned prior Tonon Evian Grand Genève FC, to play at the highest level of FFF national competition. And our training center, or our boarding school, is located at the heart of the biggest European football teams. It's located in France, just a 40-minute drive from Geneva International Airport. And through Strive Football Group, our student athletes can benefit from our partnerships with world-class football clubs, leagues, and institutions, such as Monaco Sports Academy and the West Asian Football Federation, and many more as we continue our global development. We give our players the opportunity to be seen by the coaches and scouts of the most important clubs in Europe, and competitions and partnerships provide great exposure opportunities. So for players to become professionals, they need a professional environment. And at ICEF, they find just that. Our campus was built when our club played in the first division of the French Professional League. So everything is made entirely professional to maximize the results. And in our training center, we have a full gym for cardio, strength, and recovery. We have a spa of recovery and relaxation. We have a medical staff with physical therapists, frontline amenities, natural and heated grass fields. We also think that injury prevention routines and recovery therapies are especially important so that players perform well in practices and competitions. And we teach players the importance of invisible training to prepare them for the highest level of training and competition, including nutrition, rest, hygiene, and recovery. And next, the academics. Beyond football, we prepare students off the field for success. In middle and high school, we partner with different high school programs, University of Texas High School, American High School, and of course, the Cambridge International Education Program, which is mostly the first choice for our Asian student athletes. And these students follow their academic programs online and receive guidance from on-site teachers and gain a real-life academic environment at a private school with which we collaborate in the area, where they attend a designated classroom for ICEF student athletes. And for these students as well, they can prepare for and take the SAT and the ACT exams, as well as the TOEFL and the DELF exams, to prepare them for applications to colleges in the UK as well as in the US. And for college, we offer at the university level, we offer a lot of options of accredited programs in English as well through Webster University Geneva and Geneva Business School. At Webster University Geneva, we offer our players more than 10 program options. And the best thing about Webster is that with multiple campuses in the United States, our players can easily transfer credits to the United States if they decide to continue their studies later there. And all credits can be easily transferred to other institutions in the United States. And at Geneva Business School, we offer 2 concentrations. The first is sports management, and the other is international management. And what makes Geneva Business School unique is that all the teachers are professionals in their field, so they're able to offer real-life industry experiences. And finally, in the academic field, we also offer French and English classes. So now, moving on to what life is like outside of the field and the classroom, let's take a look at the fun stuff, the amenities and the excursions. Our players live as professionals and they participate in a rich cultural experience while they're at their home away from home with us. The campus, it was built 10 years ago when the club accessed the first professional division in France. So it has all the professional amenities required to prepare professional players and is continuously renovated to improve the experience of our residents. We offer our players organic and balanced meals that are carefully selected by nutritionists following their rigorous training and competition programs for the week. And we like to say that everything is balanced. There's time for classes, there's time for meals, football, rest, time with friends, and even time for excursions and visiting what is around us. Our players also have time to enjoy their time in Europe and learn from what is around them. They have the opportunity to visit stadiums and professional games, visit the Evian water factory, paddleboard on Lake Geneva, and much, much more. And I'm going to make a little brief comment on COVID's current security measures. George mentioned it before. The safety of our student athletes is our biggest concern, as is for everyone. And we're following specific protocols established by the French government to ensure the safety and the well-being of our team and our residents. And parents have trusted us, and we're fortunate to have opened up this season they feel very confident in our location and our healthy lifestyle. So we are very lucky to be operating fully functional during this COVID situation. And speaking now of our program options, we have the 10-month boarding program. But like I said, depending on each player's goals and objectives, we can accommodate introductory programs to applicants for the 10-month programs, or even discuss about our availability to enroll for a semester in Europe. And I suggest that you inquire more with US College Showcase Asia after the fair if you have any further questions about a different program option, or even about the 10-month program option. So now you know all you need to know about ICEF, hopefully. So we can jump into our Q&A session.
Well, thank you, Amanda, for wonderful, and it's great to hear that you are almost full capacity right now, you know, especially during the COVID. Could you tell us a little bit more about, you know, what daily life schedule for the student who's there?
Isabel, would you like to talk a little bit about daily life?
Sure. So the everyday students' life, they start waking up. It's a training center, so there's a big discipline that is adapted every day. They wake up around 7:30. They go for breakfast on site. Then they are taken to school. Every morning is about school. They're doing study hall. Then they come back, they have lunch at the center, and all the afternoon is about sports activities. So it can be training, it can be games, it can be video analysis, everything that evolves around the football. And the evening, they have dinner on site, and the evening is about also soccer academy, homework, if some students, residents need to work on their schooling. And we turn off the light around 10:30 every day. Weekends, we have games, we have activities like Amanda mentioned. Now during the COVID time, they stay on site. We try to keep them, you know, protected, so they stay with us, but we do activities with them. So it can be soccer activity, games training, or it can be Halloween, preparation for Halloween, preparing for Thanksgiving, and we try to keep them active and healthy.
Okay, but normally they have game every week.
Yes.
You know,
they have about 25 games during the 10 months program, and they have sometimes, you know, some games on weekends. I mean, most of the time weekends they have games, and they have games on Wednesday. I believe every Wednesday evening, late afternoon, early evening, they have games also.
Okay, good. And so this is only boys, right? Currently, and you're
Yes,
starting the program.
Yes, currently this program is open only for boys. We have 48 beds available, and like you said before, we have full capacity, almost full capacity.
Okay. Wow, very good. And so what you mean, the ICEF has been operated for a while now. So what does normally kids do after they graduate from your program? They go pro in Europe, or they come here to US college or others?
We have both options. It depends on every family. That's when you know, we closely work with Raul and Amanda and the technical director in ICEF to see what is the potential. Some families have decided to come and transition with us for 1-2 years to try to come back to America with a strong professional European soccer background and go to college. Some others wants to stay and try to be pro. We have our own club. We like we said previously, Raul probably we could touch base a little bit more on that. We are a training center, so our goal and objective is to develop the player and try to get them an opportunity to become pro in Europe. We cannot promise, we cannot predict. Everybody depends on, obviously, the player, his level of soccer. But during these 10 months with us, he's also he's been seen, he's been scouted, and one of our main activities and objective is to try to get them developed pro in Europe. So it really depends on every single family. And sometimes when a family joins us, we've seen that previously last year, the objective can change. The resident can decide what is there, that it's too much soccer, it's too intensive. and he wants to come back to America. So we really work very closely on a case by case with both options.
Good. Yeah, but one advantage is there. They play 25 games in a year, and then they'd be scouted by various clubs in Europe.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, which is different than academy program here in US. But all right, well, thank you again. And Rahul, any particular player that you looking for to recruit to the program?
Yes. Okay. When we do the tryouts, of course, the priority is to find talented players. We want players with potential in the sports area, in the football area, but also we want like committed students, people that, because we don't have to forget that even if most of the players that we have in the academy, their dream is to be professional, we cannot separate the professional and the academic life, because we want to build, we want to educate like a person. So academics is important. And in terms of the profile of players, okay, we want very talented players, and of course we want players with a good technical skills. But for us, the priority and the main thing when we talk about the football development is players with soccer intelligence, players that they understand the game and they have a very good vision of the game. Also, we are trying to find players with a good physical conditions to be able to perform during practice and during games. Because as Isabel said, most of the families, they want to try to be professionals because they are in the core of Europe, where the most important football in the world nowadays is. So what they want is to be ready. This is why they spend, they do like a professional life in the academy, because the target is to try to become professionals. So yeah, the profile is talented players with very good technical skills, but the most important, intelligent players.
Okay, good. And when is your next enrollment for the school? Is it January or next August?
So we run on a rolling admissions basis. So we're accepting students all year round, and we host tryouts all year round in order to accept players. Like I said, we have the 10-month program, but we're always able to offer custom length programs and shorter programs as well.
Hello, ma'am. Can I ask something?
Sure, go ahead.
Ma'am, at the previous batch, how many scholarships do you offer to the players before, ma'am?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have any scholarship available. We're working on trying to get, but as of today, we have no scholarship available. It's a private center. We don't have any grants, and as of today, we don't offer scholarships. Maybe we have some more questions coming in. George?
Hello? Sorry.
Yes, George.
We still have it. Hey, all right. Well, thank you. So I didn't hear it. So enrollment, it's January?
No, so we run on a rolling admissions basis. So we're accepting students all year round. We have tryouts all year round, and we're able to offer custom length programs like I was mentioning before. So anytime a family is interested, if they reach out to us, we're able to offer a custom program for them. We typically want student athletes to enter in August to experience the full year program. But again, we're always able to offer custom programs.
I see. Yeah, no, this is great because you mentioned that you offer every kind of academic platform, IB, A level, European, and also US. Good. Well, thank you. Now, I think thank you again for your time for today and a lot of information. And, certainly looking forward to bring our client from Asia to your center in France. Could you tell a little bit more where you're located and why you not get affected by COVID?
So we are located in Evian, where the water comes from. It's about 45 minutes away from Switzerland, from Geneva. We are a private center. I don't know if you've seen in the presentation, you've seen the localization. What we've done to prevent for the COVID right now is that we have decided to keep all our student residents on site. So they are staying in school with us. We have reduced the staff that are coming in and out to make sure that we don't have any too many interaction with the outside world. We test the residents on a regular basis, and our field are right there on the center. So everything is based on our own site. So they wake up in the morning, they go to breakfast. It's in the same buildings. Then they go train. The training is done on the center that is outside of our door, a front door. And we have a little bubble. And what we do is that the coach is on site also with us. And we're trying to really, really minimize the outside interaction. So to try to make sure that the students are protected. Obviously, we go also with the French government directive. We clean everything. Everything is disinfected, make sure they wash their hands, social distanciation. So far we have enough, space to try to, and this is the reason why we have decided this year to get less residents coming in, to try to get some rooms available and empty, just in case we need to isolate someone. But so far we have been very lucky. We've been able to keep practicing, keep training. The center is on full activities. They're still practicing every day, twice a day. They're going to school. So it's life almost as usual with all the precautions made for the COVID.
Wow, that's great. No, this is a very special place and very lucky, during this time. And for all of you, well, thanks again for joining us in your time and information for the family in Asia. And, looking forward to work with you and, have a good day.
Thank you, George. You too.
Thank you. And I just want to thank everyone who joining us today and also on the live Facebook. So this is ICEF in France. So our next guest will be in 15 minutes. So please stay tuned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
When I was leaving South Africa, it didn't really hit me that I was leaving home. I got a couple of friends who came with me to the airport to say like the last goodbye on my family, and they start crying. I got a little sad too. I was just thinking, well, Brian, there's no coming back from now.
Before my first day at HooSac, I didn't really know what to expect. Come to a new school, new environment, new everything.
I felt that I'm not in Japan. The first day I was actually pretty nervous because I don't know anybody. When I was eating lunch, other people start talking to me, hey, what's your name? So I was so happy. Now it feels great. And now I'm the person who's start talking to the new people.
1, 2. Before my first time playing with my new teammates, I heard like you're from Serbia, from Brazil, you're from Spain, you're from this, you're from that. The first day I got here, we played a game and the level was so high and I was like, all right, this is gonna be competition for me.
When I saw them at the first session, I was just like, wow, we got a strong team. Playing soccer at HooSac is a really good opportunity for you to go to college. My goals would be to go to a top 25 D1 school.
We play in front of D1 coaches almost every week, and that's a beautiful opportunity we have.
When we know college coaches are watching us, it's a big moment for all of us.
Before a big game, I mean, obviously I have like nerves, but you want it to be like we're just going out again to win.
In HooSac soccer, we might be for all over the world, but like when we're in the pitch, we all speak the same language. We all speak football. After a few games and a few training sessions, we all kind of blended together and started to understand how each other play. I love playing with this team.
If I slip or fall, somebody's gonna cover my back.
They're like my family.
We may be from all over the world, but like when it comes to the game day or practice, there's only one thing on our mind, soccer. We're trying to win. That's what unites us together.
High school fair for soccer players. And let me introduce myself. My name is George. I'm a CEO and the founder of the agency College Recruits. We are #1 sport consulting firm in Asia that we are helping families and the kids coming here to pursue their dream, both educational and also in sports. And we are helping, operating more than 8 years. We're helping more than 300 students or families around the world coming here to US, basically from high school, college, and professional. And we are very excited to be able to host our first virtual high school fair. And our special guest today is Coach Sam Del Mello. He's and also head for a boys soccer program at HooSac in school. Welcome to the program, Sam.
Thank you very much, George. I appreciate you guys having me today. I'm excited to speak about HooSac School and specifically our soccer programs that we offer. As George mentioned, I am the director of the soccer program at HooSac School. In addition to that, I'm the head coach of the boys varsity team and also an associate admissions director. So excited to talk about it, excited to get into it. Shall we go ahead, George, or would you like to give anything else before I get going?
Oh, yes, please. Well, thank you. Just want to, as a housekeeping, everyone who on the Zoom call, please stay mute throughout the session. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and type us a question. At the bottom of the screen, you will see the message, a chat room. Just go ahead and send us a message. And welcome everyone who joined us on the live Facebook. We are live on 35 Facebook pages in Asia. Go ahead, Sam. Well, thank you. And we're all very excited to have you here today.
Great. Thanks so much, George. So before I get into the presentation that I've put together that gives a little background on HooSac School as well as our soccer program, I'd like to sort of speak about the current worldwide situation we're in and how HooSac has been operating this year. So throughout the world, everyone, it seems, is dealing with this current global pandemic, which is forcing us into, certain situations that are quite unheard of. To date, HooSac School has been open since August 15th, when some of our players first arrived. Classes started on September 14th. We've had classes in person since then. Our soccer players specifically have begun with their training on the 15th of August. So we've been active with in-person classes for now over 2 months, going into 3 months. And we're very excited about that. Our students have been in the classroom. They've been active within their advisory groups. They've been active on on-campus events, and they've been active within their soccer program. So, we have to date been able to play 8 matches against both club and prep school teams, with the bulk of the schools in New England and the country, they are currently unable to play. So we are very excited about what we've been able to do this year, the ground that we're laying for the HooSac soccer program. I am currently in my first year at HooSac School. I took over the job in August. I'm very excited about this program. Currently, we have a soccer program full of international players. They're coming from countries like Brazil. They're coming from countries like Spain, Italy, Bermuda, the Dominican Republic, South Africa, Ghana, and a few more. So we're excited about the group that we have assembled here, and we're very excited to see what they can do heading forward into the future. So I just want to now share my screen with you guys, and we're going to go through a PowerPoint presentation that I put together. It gives a little background on the school. In addition, more specifically, some background into our soccer program. Okay, so this is HooSac School. Let me see if I can minimize that. Perfect. This is what we call Tibbetts Mansion. Currently, this is the home of our admissions office on the bottom floors. It is currently where I am located and where I'm living on campus with a number of our boys soccer players, in addition to our boys hockey players in this dorm. So as I mentioned, it is our admissions building. It is the oldest building on campus. It was built in the late 1800s when the school was founded, and is really a unique piece of HooSac School history. Let's see if I can switch the page. Okay, so as I mentioned, HooSac School was founded in 1889. It's located in New York State. We are northeast of Albany, so about 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes from Albany, which is the capital of New York State. There's an international airport there, which is very convenient for our students who are traveling from abroad to campus. We are situated on about 350 acres of land, so it's quite a large campus. On our campus, we have 10 buildings. Most recently, we just completed, over the course of the summer, our girls' dorm, which is a brand new dorm. It is an excellent facility. We were able to follow through on the construction thanks to donations from a number of alumni who were generous and have really done a great job of providing back to the school community. One of the things that we like to pride ourselves on at HooSac School is the small student to teacher ratio. Currently on campus, we have around 200 students. That is normal for HooSac School. That allows our students to have a lot of face-to-face interaction with their teachers, which we find as an essential piece to help students develop both academically and socially, that they consistently have opportunities to interact face-to-face in a small setting with their teachers so that they can continue to improve, continue to develop, and eventually move on to college. We also offer a number of AP courses, which are very essential for high-level students who are seeking to attend high-level universities. So talking about your Ivy League universities, your NESCAC universities. One of the beauties of the location that we're in is that we have extreme close proximity to a number of these schools, a number of the NESCAC schools, a number of the Ivy League schools. So that is very exciting. On top of that, we have elite sports programs. Today will talk about soccer, but we also have high-level programs in boys basketball, high-level programs in boys and girls tennis, high-level programs in boys and girls hockey. So excited for the future here at HooSac School, specifically on the sports side. Okay, as I mentioned, school was founded in 1889. So for over 130 years, HooSac has stayed true to the values of founder Edward Dudley Tibbets. Really crucial to the HooSac community is the sense of one-on-one interaction. So whether that's one-on-one interaction, student to student, student to teacher, student to advisor, student to coach, that is an essential piece of the life here at HooSac School. We do the best that we can to provide our students with a successful learning environment where they can develop, and they can also continue to create social bonds which will last for years. That is one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is that after our alums graduate, they're very excited to come back to campus. They're very excited to learn about what the school is doing. They're very excited to learn about what the sports programs are doing. It is a very, very important thing that we pride ourselves on. So as I mentioned, we're located in New York State. We're about a half an hour from the capital, Albany. We're about 2.5 hours from New York City, about 2.5 hours from Boston. This means that there are opportunities for students to travel on certain weekends for excursions to these types of cities to enjoy a little bit of their social lives. As I mentioned, in a normal year, about 200 students, 7-to-1 student ratio, student to teacher ratio, and 100% of our senior class are going on to college. Now, HooSac starts in 8th grade, and it goes all the way through postgraduate years. As for our campus, as I mentioned this summer, we just finished our 10th dorm. It is called Town Hall. It is a girls' dormitory. It is absolutely gorgeous. We're so excited to have it. In addition, we have a fitness center with our basketball court. In addition, our weight room. We have multiple Mac labs on campus, which allows students to really utilize both graphic design and art programs, in addition to ESL, language programs, and whatever other needs they may have on their own. One of the big things that we see, it's really important for our soccer players to be able to create highlight videos. So having multiple Mac labs on campus really makes it easy for those students to take any game film that we have recorded and start to break it down into highlight videos to send to college coaches. In addition, we have a natural grass match field, in addition to a natural grass training area. So it's an exciting complex that we're working on here, and we're working into next year on completely renovating the area and putting in a brand new grass field. So we're very excited about that opportunity. In addition, we also have an indoor swimming pool, tennis courts are on campus, and 6 miles of cross-country trails. Here is Town Hall. This is the brand new dormitory which we just built. This is a girls' dormitory. We're very thankful for the support we've had from our alums. This is an example of another dorm. Pitt Mason is a boys' dormitory situated up the hill on HooSac campus. It's a bit of a walk, but it's a gorgeous dormitory as well. Here is Cannon House, overlooks our pond on campus, right on the entrance to the school. What is really important for our soccer players specifically, and certainly our international students, is that we provide ESL or ELL classes. A number of our students coming from Spain or Italy, or Brazil or any country abroad, they find the need for extra help in English. And HooSac School does a great job of providing that so that our students are prepared, so that they are ready to improve on their TOEFL scores, so that they are ready to eventually take the SATs and be prepared for college. With our ESL classes, they are leveled so that there are introductory courses, there are intermediary courses, and there are advanced courses. So on arrival to school, should a student require ESL, that student will be tested. They will be appropriately placed into the correct level, and then they will have the opportunity to learn in a small class environment and improve on their English. Now to speak a little bit about our boys soccer program. So this is our current team this year. Here's a match shot before we played a game against a club in the Albany region. I will get into the clubs that we play in a minute. That is the link to our athletics website as well. Our Instagram is below. It's HooSac_soccer program. Certainly feel free to check us out, see what you think about what we're doing, and certainly we have I think some very exciting photos on there that will be quite interesting. So I was speaking to George prior to starting, and one of the things that I mentioned to him is that we provide a little bit of a different model when it comes to the traditional boarding school soccer experience. Traditionally in the United States, soccer is played over one season. So that means soccer is traditionally a fall sport. Students who play with their high schools in the fall will have roughly a 3-month season. Those students then have the opportunity to go and play with club teams through the winter and the spring seasons. At HooSac School, we are offering a full year model. So for our top level team, we offer a fall, winter, spring training and match schedule. So over the course of a normal fall, we will play NEPSAC member schools, some of the top ranked prep school teams in the country, Berkshire School, South Kent, Northwood School, to name a few, Northfield, Mount Herman, Williston. These are top level prep schools. In addition to that, we also play clubs who represent the MLS Next Academy. The MLS Next Academy is a newly founded league that is comprised of both MLS youth teams, in addition to professional level youth clubs. So the Boston Bolts, Blackwatch Albany is one, Oakwood Soccer Club. These are 3 of the teams that we've been able to play this fall, and we expect to play many more into the spring. What is really important for our group of players is that they have the opportunity to come to the US, to acclimate to the academic, the social, and the athletic life. But ultimately, our students want to go on to college. So what we do at HooSac School is we seek to provide the best possible training and match environment for our players. Ultimately, we know that our players need exposure to colleges in order to be recruited. What we provide are matches against top level teams where college coaches are comfortable in assessing our players in that environment. They know the level of the clubs or the high schools that we are playing. They see the level of our program. That way they are able to better assess our players. Throughout the course of a normal year, we would plan to attend 4 college showcase events. There would be 2 prep college showcase events in the fall and 2 club college showcase events in the spring. Now, what is a college showcase event? If you do not know, if you've never heard about it before, it is often a tournament which is put together by an organizer or a club where multiple teams come to one location and play 1 or 2 matches over the course of 1 to 2 days. When these events are assembled, there will be a number of college coaches who will attend. And when I say a number, it could range anywhere from 20, 25, all the way up to 200, depending on the amount of teams that are attending an event like that. What we have done is we've created relationships with a number of the top level organizers for these types of events in the Northeast. So Mainline Jamboree is one that takes place in Pennsylvania. That is a huge level event that this year was put on hold due to COVID, but we were scheduled to attend. They plan to have the event in the spring. We are already planning to attend. In addition, a number of the club teams, as I mentioned, will also put on events like this. And these are really essential for our guys to be able to go out and to play, okay? So to talk a little bit about where our players are coming from, as I mentioned, we have players from Spain, we have players from Brazil, Italy, Bermuda. We have players from Bermuda who have represented their national team at the 17 age group. We have players coming from Spain who have played for Cadiz Club de Football, which is a professional club in Spain. We have a player right now from Italy who played for SS Lazio of Rome for 7 years. That is a traditionally high-level club. Everyone should know it who is involved in football and loves the game. And we have a player from Kelme Club de Football, which is a top-level youth club in Spain. So when we look at our college matriculation for our students and specifically for our soccer players, the types of schools that our students are going to are schools like Boston College, NYU, Boston University, Cornell, Berkeley, Penn State, and Connecticut College. So far this year, we already have 1 player who is committed to go to Connecticut College. That is a NESCAC school. He's a boy from Spain. He's very excited about the opportunity, and we're excited to see what he's going to do there next fall. So that is my presentation for you guys, and certainly I'll open it up now to George or to anyone else if there are any questions about our program.
Well, thank you, Sam, for a very wonderful presentation. We learned a lot more about your program, and congratulations and welcome you to HooSac family.
Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the things that in your presentation, somebody asked about your different season, I guess.
Yep.
So you have fall, you have spring, and you have and summer. And you start out with fall, which
Yep.
is so what do they do in spring and then summer?
Yeah, so let me break it down more specifically. So over the course of the fall, and we have to understand this is kind of a crazy year with COVID, and we have been able to play more games than the bulk of prep schools and boarding schools who I've spoken to in the Northeast. There are not many other schools playing. There are some other clubs playing, but in a traditional year, our fall season, the match schedule would be primarily against other boarding schools, okay? Now there would be games against prep school, club teams mixed in there, but primarily during the fall season, we will play against boarding schools. As we transition out of the fall season and the winter starts to come in, because we do get snow in the Northeast, what we do is we look to transition into strength and conditioning 3 days a week and training at an indoor facility 3 days a week. In addition, we also provide opportunities to play futsal in our gym on our hardwood basketball court. So over the course of the winter months, we're talking about when the students come back from winter break, which is usually just after the new year, until about middle of February, we will be involved in indoor training. As we get towards the end of February, that is where we will look to transition back outside to training at an outdoor facility and look to start to schedule games against club teams, as well as attend club showcases. Traditionally, February is a period in the US where club showcases take place. College coaches are not coaching because they're busy coaching in the fall. So they have the opportunity to come out and recruit high school players. So the spring season is entirely made up of friendly matches against club teams and club showcases. Now, when we specifically talk about training, both the fall and the spring, we're training roughly 5 days a week with 1 match per week. Over the course of an entire year, you're talking in the range of 30, 32, 35 matches.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of matches.
It
in the
is.
competition. And then, you know, and then also looking for more opportunity for you to showcase to scout and to coaches and stuff.
Well, that's exactly it for us. So we have a number of boys who are quite high level players. We have one boy who represents the Rising Stars of Africa program. When he was 14 years old, he trained with Liverpool. And unfortunately, he couldn't sign with Liverpool. He had issues with his paperwork. But nonetheless, he was a player who was on their radar and someone who they were interested in signing. As I mentioned, we also have another player who spent 7 years playing for Lazio of Rome. So that's traditionally a Champions League club in Italy, a well-known professional club. These are boys who would like to play high-level college soccer. They would like to receive their degree in the US. That's the first thing that we push forward with them. It's extremely important to follow through on your academics so that you can continue to play soccer at the next level, but you also get a quality degree out of it. At the end of that process, those boys may have the opportunity to go and play at the professional level. So it's certainly something that we try to prepare our boys from, whether it's just to go on to college, to get a good degree, to have a great experience playing soccer, or whether it's ultimately for a few of those special kids to get to the ultimate level to become professional players at the end of it.
Good. So that's totally why we're here too. we see it important because a lot of time kids, you know, when they're young, they quit school and 10 years old, 12 years old. That's what happened a lot in Asia. But thank you. So, all right. As for your timeline, don't want to give anybody a false hope. The family, they understand when you mention about the college showcase.
Yep.
Okay. In March or April.
Yep.
Is that for the recruiting class of August or the following year?
So this again is kind of in flux this year because of COVID. There's so much going on in the college world. You know, I've talked to a number of Division I assistants, you know, talking about guys at the University of Rhode Island, guys at Georgetown, guys at Boston College, coaches at American University in DC. The list goes on and on. A number of them are still waiting to make decisions on players this year because they haven't had a fall season. The NCAA is not playing currently for boys soccer. So in that sense, this year, there are going to be seniors who may return into next year. So we expect this year that college coaches will still be looking at players come the spring for fall of 2021. In a normal year, college coaches will attend a showcase in February, March, April, May, with hopes of signing a player not for the immediate fall, but for the following fall.
Yes.
Nonetheless, there are still schools always looking for players late in the game. So there will still be schools who are interested in finding a player in March for that immediate fall. So it really depends school by school, but our job is to try to get our guys the most exposure that we can, attend as many showcases as we can, and put them in that position where they can be identified.
Yeah, and there are always some school, but not specific school that you have in there, like Boston College, all
Correct.
this
Correct.
big name school. They're looking forward to recruit kid a following year. So
Correct.
this is why very important. That's we tell family all the time, if you have a chance, come here for high school.
Yes.
So you have more possibility to be scouted to the
Yep.
school that you want to go. Because everybody always has a dream school, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if I just add on to that, that's exactly it. It's very hard for college coaches to make assessments on players simply over film. So if you're an international player and you're sending film to college coaches, it may be very difficult for them to catch the level of play, to know who the competition is, to really see clearly on the film the whole picture of the field. So by coming to a boarding school that is located in the Northeast, such as HooSac School, you have the opportunity to play multiple times in person in front of these coaches. So you're talking about when we attend those showcases, specifically the mainline jamboree in Pennsylvania. Last year with another school that I was with, we went to Manhattan SC, which is a club, puts on a college showcase in February just outside of Manhattan. The coaches that you're talking about who attend these showcases, you're talking about North Carolina, you're talking about Wake Forest, you're talking about Georgetown, you're talking about Harvard, you're talking about Boston College, you're talking about a number of high-level schools who are all located in the Northeast. So being in that close proximity to all of these high-level colleges and universities really allows us to get our players that exposure that they need and that they desire.
Sir. Okay, so we come to the end. This is going to be the last minute. Thanks again, Coach Sam, and for your time and wonderful information. And we are very excited to recommend HooSac to our clients. And they will have a great place to be, and the place that they can fulfill their dream.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, George. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to connecting with some of your families. And I will make sure I forward my information to you, George. So if any families would like to reach out, I'm more than happy to have individual conversations furthermore about HooSac School and our soccer program.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time again.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone in Asia, and good morning for everyone here in US or in Europe. Thanks again for joining us for the first virtual high school fair for soccer. So this is about soccer only, and an opportunity for you to learn and from the best, the top of the game in soccer and academic. And today we have a special guest, Mr. Ryan and Mr. Curtis from Baylor School. And if anybody want to go to high school and learn about anything, Baylor always come at the top. I learned about this wonderful school from our swimmer. And then after that, the tennis and then now soccer. We keep hearing more and more about the athletic program. And welcome to the program, Curtis and Ryan.
Great. Thank you so much, George. We appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Looking good. And hopefully we have a new president soon. Or someone soon. Or they already make announcement yet.
That's right. Yes. We'll find out soon. For sure.
Yep. So thanks again for your time, and I'd love to learn more about your program, soccer program, and how you make sure that every kid who attend the program excel both the school and also their college pathway or their professional career, for their dreams.
Sure.
Looking forward to hear from you.
Absolutely. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Armstrong. I'm the Director of Admission at Baylor. And I can tell you a little bit more just about Baylor in general. I'll let Coach Blair handle the soccer stuff. But we are a co-ed boarding school, 9th grade through 12th grade. In the video that George's company created, you'd notice some smaller kids in the videos. We have 6th through 8th graders as well here. And those are just day students who come from the city of Chattanooga. So Chattanooga is a smaller city in the southeast. It's just under about 300,000. We're 2 hours away from Atlanta. Nashville, we're about an hour and a half away from Knoxville. So that's something that's really unique, I think, about Baylor. Many boarding schools are in rural communities. But Baylor, we seem very isolated. We're on a 700-acre campus that's right alongside the Tennessee River and surrounded by mountains. So it's an incredibly beautiful and rural-looking campus, but realistically, we're just 5 minutes away from downtown Chattanooga. We have wonderful restaurants, tourist attractions like aquariums. There's zoos, there's outdoor climbing walls. So there's so much to do within the city, and then also so much to travel to with our residential life program and our athletic programs as well, just to compete in Atlanta, Nashville, and Knoxville. But I think, academics always come first for Baylor. I mean, we're very proud of our academic program here. We have excellent facilities, fantastic teachers, rigorous curriculums. But when students come to Baylor, they also have a really unique experience with athletics. We are the #3 athletic program in the country, according to Max Preps, and Coach Blair's soccer programs are a big help with that. They've had a ton of success over the years, both the men's program and the women's program. And Curtis, at this point, I can turn it over to you so you can talk a little bit more about your programs.
Hey, good evening. We're really excited that we get this opportunity to talk about Baylor and how such a wonderful campus and place it is. My name is Curtis Blair. I'm the director of soccer here for Baylor School. Also, I am a dorm parent, so I live on campus as well. We're really excited about having this opportunity to talk about our soccer program. Here at Baylor, we have two. In terms of the girls get to play in the fall for Baylor School, and then the boys play for Baylor in the spring. So I coach the girls in the fall, and then I coach the boys in the spring. So the good part about that is we're also connected, because a lot of people think of Baylor. They also want to think about club soccer. So what we get to do is we are connected with the Chattanooga Red Wolves. That is a professional club. So what would happen is if you come into Baylor and you are a female, you would start your soccer career with us here. And we go from July to about the end of October, and hopefully we're competing for a state championship. And then from November to May, we would hook you up with the Chattanooga Red Wolves Academy. So it's underneath the professional environment. They have professional coaches. The club is about 10 minutes away from our campus. We have, like I said, we have a great working relationship. Sometimes they actually train on our campus. The one thing you did not get to see from the video is you did not get to see our outstanding and amazing soccer facilities. We have 3 soccer fields that are just designated for soccer. We don't share them. No one else uses them. 2 of them are grass field. The other one is a turf field. So at any time throughout the year, we have the opportunity to play. Whether it does not matter here, whether it's cold or whether it's 100 degrees, we get a chance to play. And that's something that usually attracts a lot of people here, is because the opportunity of playing year round, and also because of our facilities. We also have our own soccer locker room that is out there, and it is connected to TV. We have couches, showers, bathrooms, fridge. We treat you like a college athlete, because we are a college preparatory school. We also work along with numerous colleges for those people that are interested, and players that are interested to go on to that next level. So we do a really good job of working with, whether it's on the female side or the male side, whether it's NAIA Division III, Division II, Division I. We will help you through that process and trying to find the right fit for that next step in your development when you leave here at Baylor. We are really excited about both of our programs. The girls program, when we talk about student athletes, our girls program has overall a team GPA of 3.6, and that is overall a team, and that's usually consisted of 22 to 26 girls. On the boys side, we have a overall team GPA of 3.4, which we're really excited about for both of them. We know that the boys are trying to catch up with the girls, so it is a little bit of a race there with GPA. But overall for team, we're really excited about that we get to provide a quality soccer environment, and then also we're going to give you the best education in the nation. Our teachers do a really good job here of helping, making sure that our kids are prepared for that next level. So when they do go on, they are ready for the academic side, and then it's our job to make sure they're ready for the athletic side. Like I said, the good part is you do get to play here year round. The one thing that we get to offer that most places don't get to offer is you get to do both. You get to put on a Baylor jersey, and you get to represent the Baylor community, yourself, which is really, really important. But then also you get to play club soccer. A lot of places you get to do one or the other, but for us, you get to do both, which is really exciting because, like I said, you get to play for your high school, but then you also get to play for your Chattanooga Red Wolves, a professional club as well. So we feel like that we give you the best of both worlds.
Okay. And then the program that you have for both boys and girls, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, George.
Good. And what are they all high school starting from grade 9, or they be
yeah, we go through 9 through 12. In both of our programs, we have two different teams at the high school level. We have what we call our varsity level, which is our top team, and then we have what we call a reserve team, which would be our second team. And then in both programs, we have about 40 soccer players in the girls program, and we have about 40 soccer players in the boys program as well. And then when they're not in season with us, they are playing club. So if you're a boy that is coming to Baylor, in August to January, you would play with the Red Wolves Soccer Academy. And then in February, you would get started with us, and from February to May, you would be playing. And it would be the opposite with the girls, is you would start with Baylor, and then you would go to your club season. Now, saying that, you're continuously throughout the entire year, you're in a strength and conditioning program provided by our Baylor 3 strength and conditioning coaches. So not only are you still playing soccer, but we're also getting better athletically as well.
Yeah, and I can tell you, looking at a picture at your gym fitness center. I mean, it's a college, a professional level. It's huge.
Yes.
We're really lucky. Yeah, it's fantastic. So, And that's also
sorry, go ahead, please.
Oh, no, that's okay. I was going to just make a comment to this. So the strength and conditioning portion, that's also something that students can do during the day, during their physical education or PE class, in addition to what they're doing after school with Coach Blair.
Okay, good. No, that's this is one of the things that our client who came here from from Thailand directly and placed into college, and I visited them last week, and the first thing they say, boy, here they really focus on the physical fitness.
Right.
So even him, play in Europe and play in try out a professional club, and he came here, it's totally different ball game. So strengthening, it's important, as if you can start while you're in high school here, you get transition to the college level a lot easier.
Yes. And that's part of what we are. We're a college preparatory school, so we want to try to get you ready for that next level. Also the thing that we provide that a lot of high schools don't is all of our soccer players wear a GPS monitor when they train and when they play. So we get to look at the data of, how much times they run, how many times they sprint. We break down the data of how many miles they put in over a training session, how many miles they put over a game, and then we break that down. So when we go to our training environment, we can also make it individualized, because we know if a student athlete is put in 6 miles for the game on a Tuesday, then we know Wednesday is going to be your recovery day. So it's not just us guessing, it's us using research and using the data that's been provided for us. We're one of the few high schools, especially in the South, that use the GPS data. So we're really excited about that opportunity as well to provide for our student athletes.
Okay. Wow. Great. So let's talk about your once they get there. Let's say they start from grade 9, and how you see their progression through their dreams college school that they can go. I mean, what would your graduate normally go to the college?
Yeah. It depends on the girls and the boys are different. Right now on our girls side, we have we only have 2 seniors that are about to graduate. They are not going on to play. They are going on to college universities, but they are not going on to play. Our junior class has 4 girls, and they're all going to go play Division I. So they're getting recruited. We also have on our boys side, we have 4 seniors as well. So we don't have a lot of seniors, but a lot of those guys are going on to try to play. Our junior class, we have a kid here that is getting recruited by UNC, Duke, Wake Forest, UCF, any of the Division I top 10s are looking at this kid. So the good part is our job is trying to find the right fit. It's not finding, just a college, but it's trying to find the right fit academically, athletically, for that student. But once a kid comes in 9th grade, we really look at 4 things: technical, tactical part of the game, the psychosocial, how are they fitting in, how are they dealing with the dorm stuff, how are they dealing with just being, away from home. And then the other part is the athletic side of it. So we have a plan, a 4-year plan. So if a kid comes in here as a 9th grader, we have a plan for them each year to make sure that we're checking off the boxes that they're developing. So if they do have that opportunity or they do have that drive to play at the next level, they can. The other good part about what we do with our connection with the Red Wolves is that is a professional club. So they are going to be seen by professional coaches that are dealing with professional athletes. Our goalkeeper coach here is also the starting goalkeeper for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. So he's scouting for players as well. So not only are they just getting coached by me, but they're also getting seen by professional coaches here as well. So it gives them a great opportunity. So those that may want to go on to that professional level, they're going to have that opportunity as well.
Yeah, no. And also I just want to mention you are centrally located. You only an hour and a half away from Atlanta. That's another MLS team.
Yeah,
right.
We're in the central location of everything. What we say of the big 4 cities. You have Memphis, which is a little bit longer. That's 5 hours. But between Nashville, Knoxville, and Atlanta, the 3 big ones, we're right stuck in the middle, and we're about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from any of those. And right below us, you have Atlanta. United MLS team right above us. Nashville Soccer Club just started MLS, which is about an hour and a half away. So we're really right in the mega city, of all of this soccer community that's really starting to grow around us, which we're trying to grow as well, which is awesome.
Okay, great. No, that's what I want to point out for a family who listen to this call right now is that it's important to be centrally located because all the activity that you do, you'll be scouted, you'll be watched by the college that you want to go to.
Yes.
Because we've been doing it 8 years now. A lot of people in Asia still think, I can get scholarship into college in US. Yes, you can, but different schools have different recruiting process, right? And then only top big school that you want to go to, you really need to be here to be scouted, because otherwise they're not gonna do over 500, 1,000 people out the whole world. It's very, very important.
Right.
All of our games are videotaped. So we make highlights. We send them out to the college coaches. They get to look at them. But you're right, George. At the end of the day, if college coaches are going to give some money to a student athlete, they want to see them live. And that's a good part about where we are. They can always come and see them. Like I said, we're an 1.5 to 2 hour drive. We have college coaches at our games all the time that are looking for players, whether that's on the girls' side or the boys' side. Or I'm getting phone calls or emails about, hey, what players do you have that are coming up? That may be a freshman or sophomore that they're already trying to get on their radar to look ahead. So we're constantly in contact with college coaches here. I feel like that we do a really good job of finding the right fit, and giving them opportunities. And we also work with our college counselors. We have like 4 full-time college counselors. So academically, we're finding them the right fit. We're finding them the right fit soccer-wise. We work together because we want the kids to be able to go when they leave Baylor to find a good fit academically, athletically, so they can go and play at the next level.
Yes, and then that is, that's another step further than just come here or play and study. Because and another thing is when the coach, especially in the top program, I mean, if they say it come from you, Baylor institution, which I saw the sign there, 1893. They know that the kid is ready. They don't need to have time for transition anymore. They already transit, through your 4 years.
Right. George, that's a great point. I know Curtis agrees, but one thing that we consistently hear for soccer, but for many of our other sports as well, is when when college coaches are looking at our students, they don't worry about the academic piece, because if they know if they're at Baylor, they're being challenged in the classroom with a rigorous curriculum. And when they're transitioning to college, academics, they have that under control. It's typically the adjustment to college athletics. That's where the challenge lies. But the academic piece, fortunately, our students do a fantastic job of working hard in the classroom and then also out of the classroom as well.
Yes. And very, I've been doing this only 8 years, but it's very, very important when you talk to coach that, you graduate from here, you pass through here. It endorses a lot of credential stability for the kids that the coaches don't have to worry anymore.
Correct.
That's right.
Yes. And we all looking for shortcut, but there's no shortcut. You either do hard work while you're in your high school, or you do a hard work in college. It's better to be prepared.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Right. No, it's recently I've been dealing this a lot with because it's our business is very new in Asia. So so a lot of families still don't understand the difference between why you should come here first and transition, because I give this scenario all the time. If you put my kid who born here, even though he's Thai, put him in Thailand or in Laos, he's not going to last out there for 6 months. It's going to take him a long time. It's just the same thing. It's just a new environment. Come here early, get acquainted, and then get cultivated. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you checked off a lot of the boxes here that we get to provide. Is not even just the athletic part of it or the academic part of it, but it's also the boarding part of it. That when our college coaches get our kids, they know that they're responsible. They've been in the boarding world, so when they go to college, it's not like the first time they've been away from home. It's one of those things they've learned responsibilities by living here on campus and doing those things that we require them to do. So it's just another box that we check off. So when the college coaches are calling or they're asking about it, they know that, for our boarding kids, that they've been by themselves. They know how to do their own laundry. They're not worried about the small things that as a college coach, you worry about everything. It's just another thing that we get to check off that, we've taken care of them athletically, we've taken care of them academically, and now all of a sudden, responsibility wise and accountability, we've taken care of them in the dorm. So, it's a win-win for college coach. They just like, great, Baylor, done, so we're really excited about, the things that we do get to provide for our student athletes that go on.
Okay, good. Thank you, Coach. All right, so last 5 minutes, two questions that's important. One is how you, a lot of concern about COVID, situation and how you deal with it now at school, and and also when is the next enrollment and when they should start.
Sure. Great question, George. So with COVID, we're in a really fortunate position. Baylor has a COVID lab on campus. So our students, if they are symptomatic, or if they feel as though they've been exposed to somebody who was either symptomatic or tested positive for COVID, they're able to test at no charge, and the results come back within 2 to 4 hours. So between that 2 to 4 hour time frame, we have a quarantine location on campus for our boarding students until they get the results back. And it's been, knock on wood, but it's been a very smooth year so far. We've had a couple of students who have tested positive, but we were able to quarantine them in a separate dorm, test all the other students and faculty members who were in close contact to determine whether or not they were also exposed. And we're going to continue that, for as long as we need to. We want our students and our families to feel safe and comfortable when they're on campus. And I think we've been doing that because of how prepared we were going into this school year, knowing, of course, the challenges with COVID. And just for what it's worth, so far, our student body, we've tested our student body and our faculty probably, Curtis, about 6 to 8 times since August, between August and now, maybe even be more than that.
Yeah,
it might be closer to 10 times.
Yeah, the one thing that we're doing, I think, is really good is we're testing every 5 to 6 weeks is about the average of when we're testing everyone, whether they have, symptoms or not. So it gives an idea to make sure there are no clusters. And the other thing that I think Baylor's done a really good job of is they understand how important face-to-face is. They want the kids in the classroom. They want to be able to see the kids, and we are doing everything we can to make sure that we have that ability so that we can have face-to-face. So we know how mentally and it really does take a mental toll on kids when you're Zooming all the time and they're not getting the activity. So we want the kids to have face-to-face so they can have their athletics as well. So,
right. Yeah. About 95% of our student body right now is in face-to-face. They all have to wear masks. They all have to socially distance themselves, but that's been, that's been the only difference, really, for the most part. Everything has been very consistent, but the masks and the social distance is something that, is a change this year. And then the other thing is just being in Chattanooga, being in a warmer climate. We're fortunate where we've had some really good weather. We're eating outdoors. Some of the classes are outdoors. And we're trying to take advantage of that as much as we can as well.
Great. Thank you. And admission process for the next enrollment, is it going to be in August, right? 2021?
That's correct. So we're currently looking at mid-year applicants. So we do have a small pool of applicants that we're considering for January 2021 enrollment. So if there are any other current 9th or 10th or even 11th graders on the call who would be interested in a mid-year enrollment, that's something to look into. But our normal admission cycle, we review files in February 2021 for enrollment in August 2021. And the way to do that is just through the standard application online, through SSAT. Complete that application, and then on the checklist, there'll be teacher recommendations, transcript requests, the SSAT itself, and also the TOEFL exam. So those are some things that are part of the admission checklist, and when those are checked off, admission decisions are sent in March. So March 10th, admission decisions will go out. But for boarding, we also have a rolling admission. So we do enroll several students in April and May as well.
Okay. And for PSAT, right? SSAT or SSAT?
SSAT, that's right, SSAT. Now, we will look at other standardized tests. So if students have taken a PSAT or an SAT or an ACT, we would also consider those tests in lieu or in replacement of the SSAT as well.
Okay, so all those SSAT requirement, it's coming in for grade 9.
Correct, but we also, if there was a 10th grade student or an 11th grade student who didn't have another standardized test, they could take the SSAT and they could take it remotely as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. All right, so we come down to the last minute, but thank you again for your time. And, you know, I learned a lot more about your school and the program and the soccer, both club and also the varsity team. Thanks again for your time this evening or this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, George. We appreciate it. And thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, George.
I started playing soccer when I was about 7, and then I started playing like club and competitive when I was about 12. And I started in like our small town, and then I moved to Anchorage most of high school, and then I came to Darlington halfway through my junior year.
I've been playing soccer since I was 6 years old, and it's always been my goal to play in college. I came to Darlington when I was 14 years old. I came in as a freshman. We were playing in the U19 bracket because we're not a high school team, we're a club team, and because everyone's a different age and the oldest person on our team was a senior, we had to play in the high bracket. So I was a 14-year-old playing against 18, 19-year-olds in high school. That really helped me as an individual to pick up my game and be more competitive and be stronger and learn how to compete against them.
Being an international student coming to Darlington, it feels as if it's a home because there's so many international students coming here. So you really don't feel left out in a way.
The culture of Darlington is all about the students and the need and the desire that students have to find something that excites them and something that they're passionate about. Soccer Academy in particular is a great example of that because you have children who are passionate about a sport and all that they learn in that sport, but also the impact that they have living on the dorm, being in class with teachers who care about them, that are highly qualified and interested in their academic performance, a chance to be leaders in the community, a chance to give back to this community and the broader community really helps them in their learning and their growth process.
The Darlington Soccer Academy is a unique niche where kids can live out their passion for the game of soccer. At Darlington School Soccer Academy, we have 98% of our players go on into a college soccer program. That placement rate is phenomenal, to be honest, when you consider that college soccer players, or college athletes in general, is the top 1% to 2% of athletes.
I think one of the pluses about having like being a part of the academy as opposed to playing just club regularly. For me, the only good team that was near me was an hour and a half away. So every day I'd have to drive an hour and a half to go to practice and an hour and a half home for like a 2-hour practice. And then when I came here, I got to be with people who love the game as much as I did, and we walk 5 minutes to practice.
All the coaches for Soccer Academy are very experienced coaches. They've been doing it for a long time. They've all played the game. They've all been there, done that, so they know what it's like to be a student athlete. They know what it's like to be an athlete and to work hard, and they're all awesome. They're so much fun to be around. They push you hard, but at the same time, like, they support you, and they're just like the building blocks that help you become who you want to be.
Our kids assimilate very well into college soccer programs because they've already been there. They've already taken on the time management skills of holding good academics and traveling and then playing and then coming back and getting right back in the classroom. We travel very collegially. Our schedule's very much like a college soccer program.
The coaches find the school and help us in every way possible. They set us down for hours in the soccer academy room, and they call as many as 20 coaches a day, just trying to get them to notice you and for them to come and watch you in the soccer academy. And they go out of the way and take you to the college coaches and to the college itself. So they really do help. And in training as well, they go out of the way just to try and help you as a player individually and as a team.
One of our mottos is live for soccer but prepare for life. Honestly, one of our greatest attributes is the fact that our kids are completely in the fabric of the school, and they're doing leadership opportunities in residential life. They're doing student government. They're doing their honor council. And those are leadership development and life skills that will go with these players and these young men and women long after they walk across the graduation stage here at Darlington.
It's cool to come here for soccer, but to be able to come and play like with people that you love and then go to classes, and like the class sizes are so small, you get a lot of one-on-one attention with your teacher.
Academic-wise, we're really pushed by all of our teachers. Just off the soccer field, we always studying, and the teachers truly help us in every way possible.
Here they don't let you be content with just settling. Like, they want you to do the best that you can do, and they make sure that there's an environment that they're available for you when you want to succeed.
What makes Darlington special is simple in my mind. It is and always has been the people.
Darlington School Soccer Academy, it's a foundation that our student athletes can use as a springboard to be successful on the soccer field, in the college game, but also in life.
Thanks to the Darlington Soccer Academy, I was not only recruited by the University of Alabama, but I was also offered a scholarship.
My favorite part about the Soccer Academy is the fact that the girls on my team are my family, and they're always going to be my family.
I'm glad I came to the Soccer Academy because it has truly changed my life. I've dreamed of playing and staying in America, and well, my dream has come true.
I don't know what to say. The video already summarized everything, Coach.
Yeah, it makes me feel a little older, though. Some of those guys have gone on and gone through college and everything else. I was just on the phone the other day with Brookie Wallace, the girl that went to Baylor University down in Miami. So, it's taking me back a bit. And we have some other videos I can share with you as well that are a little cooler on the kids' side. So what do you guys want to know most? What's the biggest question you guys have about the Soccer Academy here at Darlington?
Okay, so first, let me thanks again for your time, and want to introduce you to our families back in Asia. So this is Coach Chad. It's head coach of boys and girls of Darlington School in Atlanta. And also join us today is Mr. Chow, who is director of the boarding school, international boarding school, or with the admission. But thanks again for both of you to join us in the program today. And my co-host today is Coach Tam. He's a national player from Thailand, and he's also an agent, football agent in Asia. Now he started working with us at the agency College Recruits and U.S. College Sport Camp. He's on director of recruiting. So he joined us today. Hello, Coach Tam.
Yeah. Okay. So I say to everybody, nice to meet you everybody ครับ
Good. So, Coach Chad, your question regarding what do we like to know today? Can we have three things if we can come up today? First, who is, Darlington Soccer Academy? Because you've been doing this for so long, it's very successful. You have more than 100 students at the time, so many team, wonderful facility. So we just, like to the family in Asia to learn about your school a little bit more. So two, it's about your admission process, because I understand that you are very, very top college prep school here in US. So you have a selection process if the student would be right fit to join the program. And thirdly, we can go to a specific question. It's a lot of question because of kids in Asia. They study in British program. So after they graduate year 11 in IGCSE, what are their options and what is your program can offer, especially this time with the COVID situation on the college recruiting side? Sorry to give you three rather than one, sir.
That's quite all right. It's not my first rodeo, as you well pointed out. So first off, welcome and thank you for having us on. And we're excited. We have players at the Soccer Academy that come in from all over the world. We've had kids out of China, Singapore, Vietnam, Thailand. We've had them from all over. I think it's about 30 countries usually represented within our student body. So that's kind of one of the cool things about running the Soccer Academy here at Darlington is we get to coach and work with players that play the game differently from all around the world, whether European, domestic here in the US to the Caribbean. So we have kids from everywhere. I started the Soccer Academy 17 years ago in 2003, 2004. And we've been building ever since. The video you showed at the beginning, actually, there's a kid on there named Noah Toplitsky, number 5 in the white. He actually went pro. He went to Furman University, then went pro into Costa Rica, and then he went up to the 2nd division of Spain. So we've done very well over the last 17 years of placing kids not only in college, but also some have gone on and played professionally. I think we're at 16 or 17 now that have gone on to the professional ranks. Every year we place our kids in a variety of schools all over the U.S., everything from Division I to Division II to Division III. We typically place them in either Division I or Division III. Division II is a smaller group. We sent some to like Southern New Hampshire. We sent them to Tampa and the Florida Division IIs. But typically most of our kids are either Division I or they go Division III into the academic, very strong academic schools. Our admissions process, I can let Charles talk a little bit about that towards the end as well, but we want to just find the right fit for kids. We want, if it's a good fit for them athletically, because they have a desire to be as high as they can and showcase their talents in soccer or our other academies of golf and tennis. If they want to showcase those talents, then yes, they're going to have to do the academic load here at Darlington. But we're such a good college prep school. We have kids from all over the world that English may be the second language, and we work with these students. Students are put into classrooms of about 14 to 1 average ratio. So they can't hide, and they're constantly given attention from either the teachers or the heads of house, or there's also a lot of leadership built within the school with our student bodies. Student body has head prefect, academic prefect, and a residential life. So there's a lot of resources every student has to find ways to engage, whether if they're struggling academically, they're struggling, if they might struggle socially with making a transition into the boarding world. There's a lot of layers put in there to help them make the transition. So we're a very strong college prep school. We've sent kids to the Stanfords, to the Ivy Leagues. We send kids to very, very strong academic universities from here because of the strong academic college prep programs we have here at Darlington. I think we're at 27 or 28 AP courses, advanced placement, which is basically where students can get college credits, similar to the IB system, but it's more of the traditional American system. When a student, we have kids from all over the world that have been a part of the British school system. When they finish up their GCSEs, IGSEs or GCSEs, usually their transcripts will read where they come in to Darlington or an American school system in grade 11, which we go grade 11 and grade 12, and then they graduate. So that is the typical time that kids will come in from a British school system. Or if they have started their A levels, we have had kids come out of their A levels and then still go 2 years here. Or they can do a post-grad year if they finish their A levels. Post-grad is going to be a very big thing this coming year with the current environment worldwide of COVID and everything else. The U.S. colleges, the NCAA, across all sports, is not taking any eligibility away from a kid that's currently in the college system. So if there's a current student athlete in college, they're not losing eligibility regardless if their team is playing a season or shortened season or anything. So everybody has their eligibility this year basically forgiven. So what that is doing is there's a lot of Division I schools, the bigger schools that have a lot of master's programs. They'll have the kids that are graduating this year. A lot of them will choose to come back and start a master's and use up another year of eligibility. So what that is doing to us as a college prep school is we're looking at creative ways to get our kids off of the 2021 graduation cycle. And a big way is a lot of kids are looking at the post-grad year option, which is not a bad thing whatsoever. If you have, again, a lot of the British school system kids graduate a year earlier than the American school, as far as they're usually graduated from the A levels at 17, maybe 18. My own personal son graduated at the age of 19 and then went into college. So it just makes them a year older, more mature, bigger, stronger, faster on the athletic side, but also academically more prepared. So post-grad is going to be a big year this coming year, just to get people to avoid the log jam, so to speak. I know that's an American term, but just kind of the overwhelming wave of student athletes coming back for yet one more year that are currently college athletes because they're not losing any eligibility. So there's a lot to be said about a post-grad opportunity this coming year. But the other one is when they finish up their GCSEs, we usually take them in as juniors in the high school system here, depending upon, of course, what their transcripts read across from what they've taken.
Okay, good. But you see more of the backlog of 2021 class because of extra year with NCAA for now. But next year, I don't know if you, yeah. So D3 already give you
So I think the transfer portal is going to add to that as well. I mean, we deal with college coaches all the time. Every day we're on the phone with somebody in various divisions. But a lot of the Division II and Division III schools that may be a little smaller, that's one of the reasons they have opted to be Division III or Division II. It's really just a school by school choice administration wise of how much money they want to invest in their athletic department and money they want to pay to NCAA as far as division. But a lot of those smaller Division II and Division III schools don't have the graduate degrees, but yet these athletes are going to graduate with 1 or 2 years of eligibility. So a Division III athlete is a very, very accomplished athlete in and of itself. He or she may transfer and start a master's degree at Division I's. So Division I coaches now can get master students with 1 or 2 years of eligibility left. And honestly, the advanced master's degrees, things like that at universities are usually about half the cost of the undergraduate year. So it kind of doubles their dollar as far as the scholarship opportunities they can do for players. So with all that, those things happening, our 2021 class, we have some that are committed and we're working through those, but the others that are still uncommitted because it's been a dead period are now looking at, yes, going in August or maybe going January of 22 to get away from that log jam a bit, especially for the fall athletic season of college soccer, men's and women's. So I don't want to get it too complicated, but what I can say is we are working the problem probably better than anybody else. We are in a dead period with the NCAA Division I's until January 1. Well, with that, we flipped it on its head as a program, and we've taken kids to 45 college campuses since the beginning of August to now to visit. And those are Division II and Division III schools that can still talk to our players, show them their locker room, show them the fields. The coaches can host us on a nice campus visit and give some of our kids some of the attention that they are looking for in the college recruiting process that the Division I coaches just cannot give right now because they cannot do any in-person recruiting. They can still answer emails, look at videos, and we're sending all that. But that's where we're at. So not many other programs, I would say no other program has physically gone and traveled with players to see over 45 different college campuses in the last 3 months. So we're kind of proud of that to be out to open up those doors for our kids.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. And then it's good to know that all the kids there, it's in a good hand, that you are looking after them, because there's only one thing you can buy back is the time.
Yeah.
With all this stuff going on, the timeline is still the same.
Yes.
So if you're not, looking for ways like you did, they're gonna keep losing time and have a false hope, and when they already hit, they have no choice.
No, that's exactly. I mean, you can't buy back this time. So we've put a lot of emphasis on their videos. We're now videoing just about every single training session. We used to never video training, but if a kid has a highlight moment when we're doing an inter-squad scrimmage at a training session, they need to be able to put that on their highlight film. So we also, a little technology, we use a lot of technology here, but so our video system is called VEO. It's a artificial intelligence video camera we just put up, flick on, and it tracks the players. It's actually getting more and more intelligent. They're doing some software updates that the player pixel signature. So your body shape is different than mine and everybody else's. So that's a pixel signature is getting charted. And so they're adding some GPS data into it in the years to come, as well as we can see the entire field. Kids can zoom in on themselves. It's really pretty powerful as far as the opportunities these kids have to get their videos and the highlights done. But also we can, the analysis side, you can draw on the screen. You can do a lot of things to show that the back line wasn't was flat instead of had a little bit of depth or whatever we're trying to show. It's pretty powerful. But we use a lot of our video stuff for these players to get their highlights together and send it to the college coaches. Our college recruiting process and just our methods is pretty robust. So not only are we visiting all these college campuses, but we as coaches are making phone calls. Right outside my door at my coach's offices, there's 2 individual player meetings going on between them right now on college coaches and college choices rather. So we're always meeting with our players, helping them make phone calls, helping them with their emails, and just honestly helping them with the communication tools at their disposal that they don't know about, and trying to get them to get outside of just emailing, but to make phone calls, to get into the texting with the college coaches, to basically live in the college coach's cell phone versus in an email. So it's much more powerful when you're actually a contact in that college coach's cell phone. You are now getting recruited. So that's just little baby steps that we try to make sure our kids get to do, and we facilitate as much as possible.
Yep, that's the difference between good program and great program. Just a little detail that put you on the edge. So that's really great to hear. So we got down to about last 5 minutes. Love to learn about the admission process, and also the next enrollment is at August 2021. And what are you looking at in terms of a student? What test requirement that they need to have for you to?
Yeah, thanks, George. Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Little would never forgive me if I didn't say that, at least on the boys' side right now, mid-year January enrollment is an option. That space is limited. But if we do have a student that works for and we can get all their paperwork together, that could be an option for the boys' side. For the girls' side, it's a little bit tighter this year. But typically you are looking at an August start for our students. Usually about August 15th, the semester starts or the year starts. And then all the way up until the end of May, they'll be in the soccer academy competing in full-time student, full-time soccer academy athlete. Now, our admissions process is nothing out of the ordinary that you wouldn't expect to see at a normal Northeastern style boarding school. We do need the last 2 years of transcripts for a student or any high school transcripts they've got so far. We do need recommendations from a current math and a current English teacher. Typically, there is also some sort of testing that's involved. This year, the testing with SSAT is quite frankly a mess. So we're very, very flexible with testing this year. Any standardized testing that a student has taken in the last 6 months to a year is something we would probably take for testing right now. Between that and teacher recommendations, that's going to let us know what kind of student we are working with. At the end of the process, there is an interview in which myself, or in some cases, Coach Little, will sit down with the player and just try to get to know them a little bit better, try to understand their goals, what their aspirations are, and their motivations for coming to Darlington. Once we have all that information together, I put everything in a file with notes, and I present that to the admissions committee, and that's a closed-door meeting where I go in and I advocate for each student as to what the student is going to bring to the community, the academy, and the dorms. Once a decision has been made, I can share that with the family pretty quickly. Now, depending on timing of what time of year you are submitting that application, there are periods of time where you will not get an official acceptance contract until the agreed upon date by boarding school associations, TABS, NAIS, that sort of thing. But we will, of course, communicate with the family and let them know where they stand before that happens. So again, nothing too complicated. I work very closely with George, with Coach Little, and the families to make sure that we got everything and everyone understands where we are and try to keep it as easy as possible.
Yeah, and as far as our needs, as far as a program, the sooner kids get things in, the better, because then basically we're building teams. And if we have too many goalkeepers, we're not going to look at any more goalkeepers. If we have, so the sooner they get it in, the better, because then it helps us on the final months make sure that we have the right striker, we have the right, whatever we need positionally is something that we actually will look at in the May, June time period. So if they're doing the admissions process for 2021 in December, January, February, they're in a good space.
Okay, and the first round of admission will come out in March, right? I assume.
Correct. As a school with the academy, I try not to think of our process in terms of, set periods of time where things, we have to wait on this to do it. I think we're a little bit more fluid when it comes with the academy prospects, but in your traditional world, yes, that would be the first window.
Okay.
And to Chad's point, get things in, the better.
Yes, definitely. Coach Tam, so do you have any question for Coach Chad and Mr. Chow? Because you meet with parents all day, every day.
Actually, for the question from the parents, many parents, they ask me for the time from Asia and between in America, like this, for different time for the open the open on August, right? And in education in Thailand, they finish around March and May something And then the process, how long the process in put in application or send to your academy, something like that, for how long they want to know, because the prepare of when the parent they want to send to America, is the financial and timing and everything they prepare for the children like this. But how long is the process this?
So I
we
think what
can
you're
do
asking
this
also
fast as the parents can. So if you were today to tell me we've got an interested family, they've got the paperwork, you get the paperwork to me. It takes me a very short period of time to get everything together, presented to the committee, and a decision to be made. Now, in this time of year, you might not get your official contract until the deadline that George mentioned earlier. Once we hit that, we're going to start working on a rolling admission cycle. And I mean, we can get things done in 24 to 48 hours if need be. The one time period that you're going to have to be very careful with is, of course, for the I-20. We don't have a lot of control in that process. And again, the quicker you can get things in, the quicker we can move. The faster we can initiate the I-20 process, the sooner a family can get an appointment made at the embassy. And, you know, the workloads of those embassies are unknown. Sometimes you can get in there in a week. Sometimes it takes a month. So again, speed is always going to be the key.
And the other thing on the I-20 is there's a rule that you can't come over to the U.S. until I think it's 14 or maybe it's 30 days prior to the start of classes. So we don't start with the soccer academy training too early. We will start a little bit before school starts, but because of that rule, and we have so many international students, we will not start training until I'd say 5-6 days before classes start, just to let them come in underneath the I-20 rules, get acclimated as far as being a residential student, move in, do all those, but then also start the training before school starts, because our season will start middle of August. And we like to have at least 10 days before that.
Okay, I understand the process, and when we get start the process when we finish education in Asia, because in Asia is the similar for the end of education on March or the 1st of May, the 1st of April. All the high school in Thailand and all the Southeast Asia is similar for finish education. Okay, I will explain for the process to some parents in Thai and in Singapore, and now we have connection in Laos too for that. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Well, and one other thing, I think you're also wondering about the gap between May and August. Yeah. What do the kids do? One thing that we can do, and we would love to do, is we could host them they could come over and train, and bring in college coaches and so forth, and host them in July at our campus. We have a number of camps going on, and then they can see the campus before they move in August. But they, at that point, would be on a visitor visa, and basically be traveling as a tourist. And then when they come in underneath the I-20, they can only come in, I'd say, 10 days before classes start. So you quickly fill up July and August without a problem. But that is something that we've discussed with George and over the years, or over the last few months, about doing multiple kids coming in and looking at the campus for golf, tennis, soccer in the July timeframe for the camps, but also being ready to then move back in August if they're in the application phase, or if they've been admitted, or wherever they are in the admission cycle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I-20 is the 30 days for the date that you put in first day of class.
Okay. So it could be that that's an end of July thing then.
Yeah, but they can always come in as a tourist visa, and then you can make extension here. But you don't have to stamp on the passport. It's all the technical stuff. You can stay here. You don't have to go back.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is good. Well, thank you again for both. for your time and information, and looking forward to work with you. And we will have to find at least your first kid to Darlington, because it's just wonderful program and wonderful family. I was there a couple weeks ago. I wish I was a child and attended Darlington School. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, George. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, me too. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye, George. Bye, Coach.
Bye.
Bye.